everyone. Freedom! Freedom!
On March 4th of 2017, there was a free speech / March for Trump event in Berkeley, and it was a complete disaster. In the 1960s, University of California, Berkeley was home to the free speech movement. That college has held their free speech movement up as one of their crowning achievements. I mean, it's what the college is most known for. The Republicans of this Berkeley college invited a speaker by the name of Milo Yiannopoulos.
Bill Clinton, who signed the crime bill in which took thousands of black dads out of families and threw them in jail. The terrible, pointless, awful war on drugs, right? Replacing, the black dad with the state, which is what Democrats have systematically tried to do to you guys for generations. And Black Lives Matter's response isn't to say, we're going to try voting for the other guys because 40 years of this hasn't worked.
When he was invited to speak at the Berkeley campus in the beginning of February of 2017, the left went insane. They threw Molotov cocktails, damaged a bunch of property, rioted, and made sure that Milo Yiannopoulos couldn't speak. So shutting down Milo's event in February in Berkeley was hailed as a victory by the left. This assault on free speech made necessary a free speech march.
You have the potential to morph. I mean, you remind me like of a young, gay, alive Christopher Hitchens.
In between Milo's event getting shut down and the free speech march that would take place a month later, Milo Yiannopoulos was discredited. Video surfaced.
No.
I'm not into 14-year-olds.
Well, that
Don't
fucking
put this
guy
on
that
me.
you said's a great guy. He was into 14-year-olds.
Fantastic. It was fantastic.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
No.
He certainly was.
I was a very mature 14-year-old.
Yeah.
You play with fire, you get burned, and he's been discredited.
To be a victim of child abuse and at the same time be accused of being an apologist for child abuse is absurd. I regret the things that I said. I don't think I've been as sorry about anything my whole life.
A certain individual's free speech is shut down, and that makes necessary a free speech march. But in the interim, that individual is discredited. So you're going to get an event that's poorly attended by the right, but the left comes out in full force.
If any of these alt-right white nationalists or neo-fascists or Nazis try to come into our community, try to come into Berkeley and terrorize either our community members who are running the farmers market or any of our young people in this community on these streets, if they dare show their faces today, they will be made clear, and we will make clear to them that they are not welcome here in Berkeley or anywhere on the streets of this community or this nation.
We are not going to let our students, our families, our co-workers, strangers on the street, we are not going to let these people who live in this park die while cops and the corporations and the oil companies and all these fucking people are just living their lives. Welcome to Berkeley, motherfuckers. We are struggling. Okay, wherever you came from over there, wherever you came from, this is our life. We are in danger every day that Trump is in office. We are in danger every day that we go to school. We are in danger every day.
Oh, she's struggling, and everyone's in danger every day because of Trump. Pure bullshit.
On February 1st, thousands of us recognized that the chancellor, that the police, that all the people who were taught all our lives are supposed to act in our interest and protect us. We're not going to do that.
So you thought your whole life that was the cop's job. That was the job of the police and the chancellor at the college, is to shut down anyone's speech that doesn't make you feel good and squishy inside. And now you as an adult are realizing that's not true. Long overdue for that realization. What's your response? Oh, band together with your fellow brainwashed minions and physically assault people that have opinions that you don't agree with. Wow. How is it that you don't know you're the fascists?
And that if we were going to stop the danger and the rise of white nationalism, white supremacy, neo-fascism, and hate in this nation, we needed to act together. And we did. And we stopped Milo Yiannopoulos.
If you need proof that the left is looking for any reason to justify their own violence, well, here it is.
That's not a big deal. But a burning garbage can, wow. That's really bad.
That's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying that.
But some people do say that. They're like,
that means violence. You're like, no, actually what's violent is not stabbing people, it's killing people.
Actually,
I see you ripping parents from their children. That's the violence. And so we gotta stop that. That means being determined, and that means by the means that are not.
Look, check this out. You say you want the black people to leave, but you guys took it from our lands and brought us over here. And now you want us to leave? Come on, bro, do your fucking history, dog. Follow Paul.
That's got to go. Hey,
Boys going down, you make deals with them.
You're talking about Hillary. Hillary sold 25% of our uranium to the Russians. You're talking about Obama gave billions of dollars to the Iranian nuclear program. Do you want Iran to have a nuclear bomb?
By the Confederacy. Why are you fighting?
My ancestors fought the Confederacy. My ancestors fought the Confederacy.
Check it hard.
My ancestors.
Check it hard. Check it hard.
I'm a Mexican.
Check it hard. So you're a Mexican Nazi.
Why the fuck is an Asian kid voting for Trump?
Whenever they talk about black people, Latinas, Asian Americans, it's always the same. Oh, you're this certain group of people? Well, you're supposed to think this way and vote this way. I mean, that's real racism. When all you can see is someone's race and they're no longer individual to you, then you're a racist.
Come on, Trump supporters. Come on.
Back away! If your opposition is chanting a pretty hardcore insult like fascist at you, it's not sufficient to chant USA in response. Let's see what some effective chanting looks like from the left.
No racist, fascist, USA! No Donald Trump! No KKK! No racist, fascist, USA! No Donald Trump! No KKK! Racist, sexist, anti-gay! Trump supporters get out the way! Racist, sexist, anti-gay! Trump supporters get out the way! Hell no! Trump must go! Hell no! Trump must go! Hell no! Trump must go!
So the left is wrong, but they're clear. The left is there to instigate. They're there to attack. That is the entire purpose of everyone with the black handkerchiefs over their faces, dressed all in black. They don't want their faces seen because they're going to be physically assaulting people.
Look how violent you are!
For me to practice my First Amendment and them to practice their First Amendment to not agree with me, that's something that we should all be able to do.
Political Kathy promoted this event. She's young, she's Republican, she's pro-Trump, she's pro-freedom of speech, she's Chinese American. Left can't have that.
I used to be Democrat and I changed to Republican because I've realized the danger of what we could be in if we don't act now.
Political Kathy was sent numerous death threats, and she was scared and intimidated away from attending the event which she had promoted. Old enough to know that free speech is valuable and worth fighting for, but not old enough to not be scared by death threats, you know? She didn't come. She's not the face of this. Oh, but this guy is. This guy that looks like he's from the 1800s.
We want to see who you are! Yeah, you fucking coward! We want to see who you are! We already know the fuck you are! Get out of my space! You're a coward! You're a coward! Take your mask off!
Look at you!
Are you black, boy?
Look at you!
Are you black, boy?
Look at you!
Protect myself!
From what?
Maybe you're not psycho!
From a psycho-fascist!
Yeah, you!
I'm not doing nothing! I'm not doing nothing! I just showed up at Berkeley with the fucking enemies of the state! That's it!
Whoever attacks! No.
That's it!
No, you
I
don't.
showed up!
Whoever attacks me! Whoever attacks me!
Based stickman who's receiving all these accolades for being this like warrior for the right. There are two problems. The smaller problem is that you brought a stick to the event. You really should have left it at home. Bring your shield, defend yourself by all means. But when you bring a stick out, you know, considered a weapon, people go, well, you want to instigate violence. Even though you're there to defend yourself, I'm not saying you were there to instigate violence, but that's what people might think watching footage of the event. Worse than you bringing your stick out there is afterwards, it's being hailed as, you know, heroism by the right, and they're making all these videos celebrating it.
Gotta be a man, I can't let it slide. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man.
You guys know that's exactly what the left wants. The left wants you to be hailed as a hero, base stickman. Why? Because more people will come out trying to emulate you. They'll go, yeah, you know, look at that guy. Look at that guy. He's been hailed a hero for knocking out those fascists, the real fascists, the left. That's awesome that he did that. I want to go do that too. How's that going to work out? You know, people are going to be out there filming right-wingers attacking people, and they're going to use that to say you're violent too. And then people just throw up their hands. They go, well, both sides are violent.
Throw that shit on the ground! Stop it! Come on! Do I look like I need protection? Do I look like I need protection? You're gonna hit me? Come on! Stop it! Go back there! Go back there! Who has the fucking power to tell the fucking cops not to move?
Like this is the smoking gun.
Like.
This is why we support Donald Trump. George Soros' son goes to UC Berkeley. Get away! Jesus! Leave it alone! Leave that child!
At a certain point, the pro-Trumpers start their march, which is followed closely behind by a much larger group of leftists that are chanting the usual chants.
Get what you deserve, you fucking Nazi scum!
And no Trump event would be complete without Trump supporters having their hats stolen from them and set on fire. So the left is overwhelming the right, and the group of right-wingers that they're focusing their hatred upon is starting to dwindle.
way that you could believe that you're not being hateful by supporting Trump. You're supporting a celebrity. He was literally some rich ass fucking man, and you're like, I'm so dumb. I'm a vote for her. I love rich people. Game show host, bro. Like, you're kidding me. You can't fucking say that in the real fucking
Why are you supporting that? Are you fucking insane? He's a Leninist.
How do you tell me this again, because this is the complete stupidity of Trump supporters. I'd like to catch this on film. Tell me how you love Trump and hate Bannon. Tell me again.
You guys are not going to convince each other that you're right or wrong.
Tell me that you hate Trump and love Bannon. Tell me something smart. No, you don't have anything smart to tell me. That was not good of me to ask them that. I just talked our fucking line. I want to talk our fucking line. My point.
I just don't know how the left doesn't know that they're hateful. I mean, are you not able to like recognize the feelings inside of you? Do you really not know when you're saying something, whether it comes from a place of love or hate? Is that confusing? Wow, has our public education really done a disservice? If it looks like hate and it sounds like hate, it's probably fucking hate. And the fact that you can't recognize that you have a lot of hate within you and that you're expressing that hate, the fact that you don't know that, that's disturbing. It's disturbing that we have adults in this country that don't know the difference between two basic polar opposite type emotions.
Talk about building a wall, right? Talk about building a wall, right?
Let's hear some more really intellectual arguments from the left. Oh, there goes the free speech sign. So now you guys are burning this free speech sign. You know, you've been spitting on people all day. You might as well spit on the sign. Oh, there you go. A lot of people voted for Trump out of love for our country, out of love for the people of this country, out of love for our freedoms. There was no hate at all. So when you say that Trump supporters' rhetoric is hateful and should not be allowed, you're proving why hate speech must be allowed. Because you don't know what hate speech is. You don't know what hate is. At this point in the day, there's basically no free speech advocates or Trump supporters left. The left overruns the entire park, and they're just looking for anyone they can focus their hatred upon. So anyone left there is a target.
Glad that Trump supporters had a chance to come out today and show that there's some even out here in Berkeley in the Bay Area. I'm watching here so I don't get egged. I think the violence has accomplished nothing. I think all the anger has accomplished nothing.
Who do you think instigated the violence today?
I didn't really see. I stayed back far enough. I have this inkling that I seem to see the thefts going one way, theft of hats and signs by the anti-Trump people. Then I saw some Trump people with sticks, which I don't agree with either. So I don't know. Nothing's been accomplished. So I'm just glad I got to stand out here in the park, and that's about it.
It seemed like a kind of a disorganized mess.
Yeah. And now they're egging the guy who's the homeless advocate. So what's going on? Maybe this is just the 2 minutes of hate, really.